Democrats push fairy tales about Portland as federal troops are sent in to handle Antifa violence. What do we have going on? We got a bunch of West Coast, Best Coast people saying, we don't need your troops, when in reality, they do. Things have gotten wildly out of hand down in Portland, even though people in Portland are saying, there's nothing to see here. It's mostly peaceful, with the exception of the whole guillotine thing, talking about cutting the heads off of ICE officers. If you consider that mostly peaceful, all righty, let's get into it. Here we go. Start off with the Jason rants. Look at that. I mean, right off the bat, pigs. And this is on the boarded up wood because the ICE officials know that this place is just going to get rocked continuously. And just like the federal building in the summer of love, 2020, 2021, everything was all boarded up. Everything around was all boarded up because of these mostly peaceful protesters, right? Pigs, we got the guillotine. They got the guillotine, meaning cut your head off. That mostly peaceful. I mean, I think guillotines are mostly peaceful, don't you? Just that whole beheading thing. I mean, you're not used to this show. I'm completely joking. What could be more violent than a guillotine beheading somebody? They literally brought that in. We'll take a peek at that. Democrats are lying about Portland, and the left-wing media seems content to amplify their fairy tales. I'm seeing this time and time and time again. Bruce Harrell came out and said, what? Don't send any troops to Portland. Don't send any troops to Seattle. Everything's great here. And that's just not true. Not true. And specifically, what it is specifically is the ICE facility in South Portland that Antifa's been there protesting, violently protesting for 100 days. President Donald Trump is right to send troops to tackle Antifa violence against ICE enforcement. 100% agree. 100% agree. Just go in, do your thing. Just cap these people. These people are just absolutely ridiculous. According to Oregon's Democratic leaders and talking heads, Portland is practically a Norman Rockwell painting. Families riding bikes, kids feeding geese, young professionals sipping oat milk lattes while Instagramming food cart tacos. Meanwhile, I read stories about a homeless dude with no shirt, no shoes, a big old knife, and he's just running around scaring the bejesus out of people that are trying to do what we just talked about, riding bikes, kids feeding geese, sipping oat milk lattes. That happens, and then you got some guy just coming through with a knife, just whacked out of his mind on meth. And local officials are like, don't arrest him. Don't arrest him. He's got rights too. That's the image Portland officials want you to buy, even as nearby nightly riots at the ICE facility turn parts of the city into a war zone since June. We have watched the videos. Remember the young lady who was living in one of the apartment buildings nearby, and she basically came out and just ripped Antifa a new one? She just really laid into him. We wouldn't have to send in federal troops if you actually were protesting peacefully. If you're outside just holding up a sign, doing that number, then there wouldn't be any point to sending in troops. And I'd be the first one to say, hey, this is a massive overreaction. But when you have to have your facility completely boarded up, and we're going to see a video by a numbnut politician. Let's go down and look at that now. Let's look at that now. Now, here's the guillotine, right? Here's the guillotine. This is it's meant to send a signal. Hey, we want you dead, which is in itself extremely violent. Everybody knows Antifa doesn't like law enforcement. They routinely tell cops to kill themselves. They routinely tell cops, ICE officials, to, their children should be dead, their whole family should be dead, because that's what they think should happen to people that they don't agree with ideologically. They should be murdered. And where have we seen that lately? I can't quite recall. Charlie Kirk. Perfect example of that. So that's why you've got good reason to have the feds coming in. Now let's take a look at this. This is a video that numbnut boy Ron Wyden sent in, taken just a few minutes ago outside the ICE facility in Portland that Trump claims is under siege. My message to Donald Trump is that we don't need you here. Stay the hell out of our city. All right, let's look at this real quick. Okay, keep in mind. All right, what we're seeing here is in the middle of the day. Antifa comes out at night. Antifa comes out at night. So this doesn't even count, right? But there's some real telltale signs here. Everything's boarded up, and that's graffiti, been painted over for graffiti. You got a bunch of ridiculous stuff on the pavement. You've got words and stuff on the street going down the side. You see, here you go. Look at this, just nonsense. Boarded up over here because these people are violent. They're trying to light this building on fire. And you've got graffiti over there because they graffiti everything up. Graffiti here. And here, poor people living there, they have to put up with all this just absolute nonsense. So here's your lies. This is your lies right here. That is a massive lie by Oregon politician. And he knows it. He absolutely knows it. That's just that's just silliness, right? Silliness. Because here is another example of what we're talking about. King pigs. And they just try and destroy the buildings. Otherwise, they wouldn't have them boarded up with wood. So you're trying to disperse an extremely violent crowd.
I ain't done nothing. You want to?
Look. This is a non-violent setting? Are you kidding me? It's a war zone. That's straight up a war zone.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Go back inside!
What I find crazy about all this is that this is a get the criminal illegals out facility. They're going to hold them there for a little bit, and then they're going to deport criminal illegals from your community, right? That's what they're doing. And yet you want the criminals to remain so badly that you're going to go up against your own law enforcement to make that happen. You're going to risk getting arrested, and a bunch have already been arrested. You're going to risk getting arrested because you feel so strongly about having criminal illegals in your community remain. Says a lot, doesn't it? It says a lot. Does that look a little different than the video we just saw? Flare. What do you say? Right? If you think that's normal, if you think that's peaceful, you have your head up your ass. You do. Just right up there. So if you think this is okay, and Portland does, Portland thinks that this is okay. And that's the rub. That's where the whole thing comes in with, well, maybe we send the troops in. And I 100% send them in. Send them in, especially if Portland is so incompetent that they don't want to allow their own police force to handle business because it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. We've seen what happens when they go to clear out, one of these deals. It's sad. We have the right to protest. With gas masks, helmets, umbrellas.
Get the fuck back! Stop blocking traffic, you fucking idiot! Put your fucking canister gun down, you fucking pussy! Again? Fuck you!
Take him down. Yeah. So delusional. Oh, look at this guy. He's running around with a shield. He's got a shield. These are essentially children playing at adults. They're playing that they're adults because somebody told them that F ice. So bad. It's so immature. I heard somebody else say that they're seeing more and more young people in the far left that are immobilized, that are in need of either wheelchairs or canes or other, things to help them get around, mobility devices. I've heard that more than once. What's the deal? Why are folks affiliated with your organization? Why are they all crippled? What's going on there? What's happening that's causing them to not be able to walk? Is it multiple vaccine shots? Is it just so many vaxes that you just, I don't know. It's wild, right?
What's wrong with you?
If you think that's okay, if you're okay with that kind of thing, then, we do not believe in the same concept of peaceful protest. Just don't. Portland Antifa violence. What violence? Senator Ron Wyden proudly tweeted video of the ICE facility in the middle of the day, taken just a few minutes ago. My president to Donald Trump is this: we don't need you here. Stay the hell out of our city. You are a virtue signaling numbnut. That's what you are. You staged this video not during the middle of the night when all the activity is, but during the day. Of course there's not going to be any activity because you're a numbnut. You know it. What Wyden conveniently and intentionally left out is that the ICE facility behind him was boarded up like a hurricane was about to hit. Why else would federal officers barricade windows with plywood? That's mostly peaceful, so, because Portland is safe and calm, as Governor Tina Kotek put it. Or because Antifa thugs were showing up after dark with a guillotine, fireworks, and baseball bats, and the occasional brick. Right? And the occasional hammer to hit a federal officer in the head as they're emerging out of said federal building. That happened during the Summer of Love, right? Summer of Love. There's Andy No. And he's been quite active because he's probably one of the most renowned reporters on Antifa. And what happened to him? He got his head rocked. They absolutely thumped on him. The milkshake incident, horrific violence towards Andy Ngo, horrific violence towards Cam Higbee here in Seattle. They roughed up, other folks as well. And you know what? Where this happens is big blue liberal cities, and leadership just turns the eye. Just look away. Just look away. This gaslighting has been the Democrats' playbook for years. The peaceful protest. They told us it was peaceful as Black Lives Matter is just literally lighting the landscape on fire, right? Yes, that's Portland at noon on a sunny weekend. By 10 p.m., though, the same city that looks more like a scene from a dystopian film, which I showed you. And that's the reality. Trump says he'll send troops to Portland, Oregon in latest deployment to U.S. cities. Well, and you know what? He's also talking about, if it's not safe for the World Cup to be in Seattle, maybe we move it. I think that'd be a tough pitch. That'd be interesting to see, though, right? President Donald Trump said Saturday he'll send troops to Portland, Oregon, authorizing full force, if necessary, to handle domestic terrorists. What do you call that second video we saw other than anything other than domestic terrorists? They're not peaceful. They're certainly protesters of some sort, but you want to bring a guillotine to the event? That doesn't exactly say, hey, here's some flowers, does it? No, it talks about murdering people, extremely violent. And that's where the Democrats, they just continually overlook the violence that the far left brings to the table. And it's the far left consistently that brings this violence. We watch it happen. We talk about it. We see it. I mean, if you got a story about the Proud Boys right now, show it to me. I'll take a look at it. Show me where the Proud Boys are doing something like this. They're actively out, doing this kind of stuff. If there was that story, it'd be all over the media. It would be broadcast 24/7. And instead, the opposite is happening. The media is covering for these numbnuts to just basically do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's nothing new. It's just that, it's a cover up. It's a cover up because they want what they want. Yeah. Andy Ngo says again, it's not a possibility. It's true. Many Oregon Democrats find it useful that Antifa intimidate, beat, and kill their political opponents. Conservatives' events being shut down with violent benefits, Democrats, because then Republicans can't engage in the democratic process. I mean, that's literally what we're watching happen. So this whole idea, let's watch this video here. Could you imagine living through that? I mean, that's just absolute insanity. Here's another one. See this. Yep, they're arresting some people. These are people that broke the law. Helicopters are overhead. I mean, this is literally a war zone. Look at that. There we go. Drag him in. Drag him in there. Again, I don't have an issue if they want to hold up signs and do chants. Look at this. I mean, look at these people. So they're going to dox the license plate. Perfect. If you're okay with that, You're okay with that show of force by the protesters? With the ICE just basically defending their facility? And that's what they're doing. They got the car in. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out, right? It's just not. Protests outside Portland ICE facility continue Monday, today, after federal troops were deployed. So troops have been deployed. They're not here yet. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. It's going to be it's going to be quick and over. I mean, and you might have that happen for a few nights. But, we saw what happened at the end of Summer of Love. We saw what happened with 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣. It's just, folks get to a point, and this time it's the President of the United States saying, nope, games are over. No more guillotines. No more saying F, kill ICE officers. No more of that. And send in some troops, and it's over. I mean, you can see that the folks that are out there protesting, they're very violent, weak people. That's what they are. They're very violent, deadly. They've killed people before. They've killed in Portland before. They've murdered in Portland before. So this is not new. They murdered Charlie Kirk, right? Murdered Charlie Kirk. So is this anything new? No. Here's Portland's incredibly weak mayor. It would be an understatement to say that I am so disappointed at the irresponsibility of our federal government, Portland Mayor 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣 said in response to Trump's decision to deploy federal troops. What is irresponsible is Portland's Mayor 𝗧𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗍 allowing this violence to continue on his watch. And they try and play it off as, well, it's First Amendment speech, right to freedom of speech. But bringing a guillotine in, saying, hey, we're okay with murder? There's a line there somewhere. And then when they get out of control, actions have consequences. So I don't have a problem with the troops going in at all. I think it's long overdue. We'll see what happens. It's not going to be it's not going to be much of a fight because these people, it's crazy how this goes. Okay, we're going to do this last segment here. Neighbors of Portland's ICE facility concerned about federal agents, not protesters. Check out some of the lies here from people in the local community. These are some outstanding lies right here. Okay?
Happening outside the ICE building in South Portland. And tonight, we're hearing from residents who live in that neighborhood who say their concerns don't include the protesters.
Fox 12's McKenna Marks spoke to people in the neighborhood today and is joining us live now. McKenna, what did you hear from those local residents?
Yeah, good evening. I spoke to one woman who has lived in this neighborhood for about 15 years and walks past the ICE building almost every day. And she tells me that people protesting outside are usually friendly. And as you can see right now, there's a large crowd of people in the street with their signs protesting out.
Yeah, they're friendly as long as you're not ICE. I mean, laughable at best.
But the local residents I spoke to tell me this is not what's been bothering them.
Oh, it's a wonderful neighborhood.
Susan Norris has lived in the neighborhood near the ICE building in South Portland for 15 years. It's no secret that activity outside the building has increased this summer, especially in the evening. But the protesters themselves aren't what locals like Norris have concerns about.
People are always friendly, including all the people that I see outside here on a daily basis.
Delusional. That's just so delusional. And that is how 𝗧𝗠𝗠𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗍 could win in 2028. Democrats are so delusional that they don't care how badly he has run California into the ground. And they're okay with the behavior here because they don't see anything wrong with it, or they claim not to. Let's listen to this woman.
To be honest with you, I've never seen any of the demonstrations instigate any violence.
Rather, neighbors tell me their concerns lie with the federal agents.
Okay.
bothers me the most, I live on the backside of the building on Bancroft, is the tear gas. They aim their flashlights to high-power ones into my back porch.
𝗧𝗏 Shavers lives in one of the apartment buildings across the street from the ICE building. On Saturday night, she says she even heard helicopters circling the facility.
There was 3 of them circling for over 7 hours last night. They were louder than the protesters.
Portland has made national headlines recently after President Donald Trump announced he plans to send troops to the Rose City.
But take a look at Portland sometime. These are crazy people, and they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland.
And while Portlanders like Shavers and Norris admit the city saw its fair share of trouble years ago, they say the president's recent claims aren't true.
I live within 1,000 feet of the ICE facility. There are no fires. There's no lynching. There's no rioting. There's no looting. There's no attacks, assaults. That's a lie. You're being lied to.
It's a wonderful place to live, Portland.
100% delusional. I mean, we're not saying that there's rioting and looting per se, like we saw with Black Lives Matter. That's what she was alluding to. But when you try and destroy an ICE facility and then claim that that's not violent, when you bring a guillotine and you claim that that's not violent, we saw the video. I mean, come on. You're not playing with the full deck of cards if you're okay with all that nonsense. Because guess what? Trump wouldn't be sending in the troops if your people were actually peacefully protesting. We'd have video showing them just holding up their signs, walking out in front, and there's no issue. And when you got a car coming in and out, you let that car pass. You don't, scream at law enforcement that you want them dead. If you went down that road, I'd say there's no reason for troops. But the opposite is the reality, which is these people are violent. We know it to be true. We saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. This is an extension of that. These are the same folks, anti-fascists, right? And this isn't that hard to work out. This isn't that hard to figure out. But for Democrats, for progressives, it seems to be very, very difficult. And it's because it doesn't fit their narrative. Oh, this is mostly peaceful. No, it's not. It's anything but. When you have to board up your facility, that's when you've taken the leap from peaceful to not peaceful. Yeah. Board up all those windows. All right. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Make sure you are subscribed, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.